Hey, if you want to get better at anything, whether that's your health, your career, your relationships, or your finances, you're probably thinking too big. In Atomic Habits, James Clear reveals why. And today I'm breaking down the 7 core ideas that will transform how you build habits and actually stick with them. Let's start with the most important idea in the book, the 1% principle. Here's how James opens the book. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Think about that for a second. Most of us set outcome-based goals. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to make $100,000. I want to write a book. But we focus on the goal instead of the system that creates the goal. The real insight? If you improve by just 1% every single day, it compounds into something extraordinary. Do the math. 1.01 to the power of 365 equals 37. That means you're 37 times better by the end of the year. Not 365% better, 37 times better. But here's the flip side. If you get 1% worse every day, 0.99 to the power of 365 equals 0.03. You approach zero. So the power isn't in the massive transformation, it's in the direction. Small changes, consistent direction, extraordinary results. Most people want transformation overnight. They want to overhaul their life in 90 days. But that's not how real change works. Real change happens through tiny, incremental improvements that compound over months and years. Now, how do habits actually form? James breaks this down into 3 parts: the cue, the routine, and the reward. Let me give you a real example. Let's say you bite your nails when you're stressed. The cue is stress. Your brain detects stress. The routine is biting your nails. That's the behavior. The reward is calm. Your brain feels a temporary sense of relief. Here's the problem. Most people try to change the habit by quitting cold turkey, but your brain is wired for the cue and the reward. Stress will always trigger your brain to seek calm. The solution? Don't try to remove the cue or the reward. Change the routine. So instead of biting nails when stressed, you could take 5 deep breaths, or go for a quick walk, or drink water. Same cue, same reward, different routine. That's how you actually break habits. This is why willpower-based approaches fail. You try to fight your brain's wiring. Instead, you should work with it. Here's where it gets really powerful. Most people build habits based on outcomes. I want to lose weight. I want to save money. But these don't stick because willpower is finite. Eventually, you give up. But James introduces something better: identity-based habits. Instead of saying, I want to lose weight, you say, I'm a healthy person. Instead of, I want to save money, you say, I'm financially responsible. Then your habits become a reflection of that identity. A healthy person goes to the gym. A financially responsible person tracks their spending. A focused person puts their phone away while working. You're not fighting your nature. You're reinforcing your identity. This is the real reason habits stick. They're not about the goal. They're about who you're becoming. When you shift your identity, the behaviors follow naturally. You don't have to force yourself. The actions align with who you believe you are. Now, here's a practical framework James gives you. Habit stacking. The idea is simple: current habit plus new habit. So if you already have a morning coffee routine, that's your cue. You could add, after I pour my coffee, I write 3 goals for the day. After I brush my teeth, I do 10 push-ups. After I sit at my desk, I spend 5 minutes on my most important task. You're not creating a new cue. You're piggybacking off an existing routine. This works because you already have a neural pathway built for the existing habit. You're just extending it. The key, it has to be something you already do consistently. Don't try to stack habits onto something you're still building. Start with your strongest existing habits and build from there. James breaks habit formation into 4 elements. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. Let's start with obvious. Most of us have no idea what habits we're actually doing. You check your phone 150 times a day. You snack without noticing. You fall into patterns on autopilot. James called this the habit scorecard. Write down all your habits for a day, literally everything. Brushing teeth, checking email, scrolling, eating, talking. Then mark each as positive, negative, or neutral. Why? Because awareness is the first step. You can't change what you don't see. Then make your good habits impossible to miss. Want to drink more water? Put a glass on your desk. Want to read more? Leave a book on your bed. Want to meditate? Set up a meditation corner. Remove friction for the habits you want, add friction for the ones you don't. This is the power of environment design. Here's one of the most practical ideas in the book, the 2-minute rule. The problem with building new habits is that starting is hard. You want to exercise, but showing up to the gym feels overwhelming. You want to write, but opening a blank document is intimidating. James' solution: scale your habit down to 2 minutes. Don't say, I'll exercise for an hour. Say, I'll put on my workout clothes. That takes 2 minutes. Momentum builds from there. Don't say, I'll write a book. Say, I'll write 1 paragraph. 2 minutes. The insight: the habit is the ritual of showing up, not the results. Once you show up for 2 minutes, you'll usually keep going. But even if you don't, you still reinforce the identity. You're still someone who exercises. You're still someone who writes. Start small, build a pattern, results follow naturally. Finally, James emphasizes this: what gets measured gets managed. Most people set a goal and hope for the best. But James says use a habit tracker. This could be as simple as marking an X on a calendar every day you complete the habit. It's visual, it's satisfying, and it's incredibly motivating to see the chain grow. He calls this never breaking the chain. But here's the key: you're not tracking the outcome, you're tracking the behavior. Don't track weight lost, track days I exercised. Don't track money saved, track days I stuck to my budget. The outcome is the lagging indicator. The behavior is the leading indicator. Focus on the behavior. The outcomes take care of themselves. The shift in focus is transformative because it puts control back in your hands. Now, here's the thing about this book. All these ideas might seem simple, but simple isn't the same as easy. You understand the principles, but implementing them is where most people struggle. So here's a practical example. Let's say you want to get fit, not because you want to lose 50 pounds, that's outcome-based and it fails, but because you're becoming someone new. I'm a healthy person. A healthy person works out consistently. So here's how you use James's framework. First, habit stacking. Your cue is morning coffee. After coffee, you put on gym clothes. 2 minutes, no decision required. Then, the 2-minute rule. You don't commit to a full workout, just show up. The gym is closest to your house, so you remove friction. You make it obvious by placing your gym bag by the door the night before. You make it satisfying by marking an X on a calendar each day you go. This is how the principles work together, not as separate ideas, but as an integrated system. The genius of Atomic Habits is showing that habits are a system, not isolated behaviors. Those are the 8 core principles of Atomic Habits. The 1% principle, the habit loop, identity-based habits, habit stacking, making it obvious, the 2-minute rule, tracking, and putting it all together. What's one habit you're going to build starting today? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more summaries. Thanks for watching.